Cheers. Cheers.
Welcome to SipTalk number 12. Let me introduce myself. My name is Justin DiGiulio. I'm the broker at DiGiulio Group Real Estate. I have Alex and Adam with me who both work at DiGiulio Group Real Estate. I'll let you guys introduce yourself. Alex, you're up first. This is your camera right there.
Hey, I'm Alex.
That's your camera right there, the
okay.
camera.
Hey, I'm Alex. I love working here at DiGiulio Group Real Estate. I love rock climbing, and I love showing apartments.
All right. Adam, you're up. This is your camera right over here.
Hey everybody, I'm Adam. I think you've probably seen me a couple of times. Don't mistake me for a bit shorter version of Justin, but it's nice to see everyone again. I hope you all having a great week, and I don't know about you, but I am so ready for spring after this week. I am so ready for nice warm weather.
Yeah, it's been cold as fuck.
Yeah.
So, what I want to talk about right now is about renter etiquette when you're living in an apartment-style building. You have neighbors that are pretty much up on top of you. I had company over Sunday afternoon. I started cooking a big dinner. Adam knows this. Adam was invited.
That's very true.
Adam was invited. And it was too much food. So I hit up a couple of friends that live nearby. Said, hey, I'm cooking basically 46 gallons of pasta sauce, some meatballs and sausage. Come on by. So we wasn't that late, okay? But it was a Sunday evening. And we didn't have any music going. I got quite the sound system in my apartment. I got the Bose surround sound. I got a bass module. It weighs like 50 pounds. The bass module. So my living room wall, it shares the wall to the living room next to me.
Right.
All right. But the apartment next to me is a studio. So it shares a wall with the living room and the bedroom next to me.
Damn.
All right. So, but it's on the opposite wall. It's on my living room wall, the opposite side of the living room,
Right.
which shares a wall with my bedroom. All right. Now I don't keep the bass up that much. If I'm watching a movie, that's one thing, but I still don't turn it up that much. I notice in my apartment, I can hear the volume outside of my door. It's a metal door. I can hear sound outside my door when I'm over 30% volume.
Damn.
All right. But if I'm at 30% or so, like, it's not bad. So Adam came over. We had a couple of friends over. The volume was at like 30, 35, which actually they're working negative numbers, weird decimal thing, Yamaha Bose thing. I don't know. So it was less than the 30%.
Probably closer to 20%, to be honest.
So, but it was quiet.
Yeah, background.
Now we get a knock on the door. I open the door. It's this guy, about 6.5 feet tall.
Damn.
He's got a security badge on his chest. And I'm like, hey man, what's up? Now, I've never seen an actual security person in my building. Raj, oh, you're not Raj. Raj, you can hear us good, right?
Yeah.
All right, so I've never seen a security person in my building. We have a doorman, and then we have a guy at the desk. They're both dressed in suits, not like any like branded suits, just dressed in suits standing at the door.
Sure.
No, we got a live video pause here. This is a real security guy. So somebody called security at some point. Somebody decided it was the best idea, rather than call the apartment, to send this guy up there. So the guy comes up and he goes, we got a noise complaint from your apartment. So first thing I do, I close the door behind me and step into the hallway. And I go, okay, do you hear anything? And he goes, no. I said, did you hear anything when you approached the apartment? And he said, no. I said, I don't think the noise complaint's coming from us. And he goes, well, the next door neighbor complained you were making noise. So it wasn't us. He went back down. I mean, I didn't think it was us. You were there.
No,
I didn't think it was us because we stood outside the door. It's a metal door. It's not an insulated wall, metal door. 40 minutes later, the doorman shows up at the door. And he's got, we have a noise complaint about your apartment. I just talked to the security. It's not us. So the neighbor from the next door apartment comes out. He's like, these guys are playing music too loud. One of the guys from my house goes into his house, and you could hear very, very, very slightly the boo, boo of the bass. Right. But I mean, not even to the volume that I'm making it right now. I don't know if you hear the boo, 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 boo. It wasn't even, it was slight.
I think he practiced these sound effects throughout the day when the door was closed here.
I wish. So, but I didn't think it was that bad. But either way, this leads me on to this thing about etiquette and living in a New York City apartment.
Sure.
There's a lot of topics I feel like we can talk about in terms of being a neighbor. It was before 10 o'clock. Given it was a Sunday night. Now I see if it's Sunday, it's midnight, you're playing music, you're having a party, which we weren't having a party. We just had dinner.
Right.
All right.
Yeah.
So, and it was about 10 o'clock. But my question is, first question right off the bat, on a weeknight, Sunday, Monday through Thursday, how late is too late to be making any audible noise at all? I'm not saying you have to have a fucking bash in your house. What I'm saying is that if you're making noise where your neighbors can hear you, they're teachers, they got children, or who the hell knows who lives next to you in New York City, right?
Right.
But you share a wall with them, you share a floor with them. What's the cutoff time?
Well, growing up in the suburbs, it was always like anything after 11, you can file a noise complaint, from my understanding.
Anything after 11.
Yeah, and that was like any time, weekend or weekday. But with New York City, it's so.
Hold up 1 second.
Yeah.
We got somebody that wants to be on. Xavier, if you're still watching, I'm going to add you. All right. 1 second. So we got Xavier wants to be part of this. Hopefully, he's got something to contribute. All right. Waiting. If he doesn't join, he doesn't join. So you said 11 o'clock in the suburbs, right?
Yeah.
As a neighbor, as a detached house. All right, so now we got Xavier on board. Hey, are you going to contribute or what?
How you doing? I can't wait to listen. When does it start?
We're live right now. You're on camera. You're going to be in the YouTube. Are you cool with that?
Oh yeah.
Let me just ask you a quick question.
Where to go? I just wanted to say.
No, real quick. Let me ask you a question. Real quick. If it's a weeknight, Sunday through Thursday, and you have company over, how late is too late where you got to cut that shit off and you got to quiet the fuck down?
10 o'clock.
10 o'clock.
You say 10 o'clock?
Yeah, I would say 10 at latest at 11. But
Because Xavier has kids.
I see, so 11.
Xavier has kids. So you're saying 10. Now, what if I quieted it down but still have people over?
I mean, as long as I don't hear you,
What if you hear me like a little bit?
I'm gonna complain.
All right. Thank you. All right, bro. I'll let you go.
All right, man.
All right. See you. So he says 10. You said 11, but you're from the suburbs, detached housing.
Right.
Yeah,
So,
backyards. Nobody's on top of you.
let's say if it's New York City, I think midnight.
Wow. So
That's
you're giving
fair.
more. So I'm saying, in my opinion, 11 if you're detached house, fine.
Okay.
All right. 10 if you're in New York City because people can hear you. But also the fact that you're in New York City, there's a major variable with neighbors and wall share, and you have to account kind of for the fact that like everybody is everybody,
Okay.
right? Let's give a time limit. Weekdays,
Okay.
I'm in favor of 10.
The way I was raised was more towards 11, especially growing up in Brooklyn. I mean, nobody ever gave me a noise complaint. I like to play my music pretty damn loud, and I play it
We're not
way
talking about your
past
headphones,
11.
though. We're not talking
No,
about
no,
your
no. I
headphones.
have huge fucking speakers at home, like incredibly high quality speakers, and they're fucking huge. But the point is that I play my music well after 11 p.m. and I play it pretty loud, like not too loud where it's just brazenly disrespectful, but
Brazenly how
but I
disrespectful
still
you
play
being?
it pretty loud,
Brazenly.
and nobody ever gives me complaints.
Okay.
I don't know.
But what type of building you live in?
I live in a 20-story building.
20-story. What floor are you
Yes. 16th.
on? Fuck. How many apartments on each floor?
Mm.
So his building is fucking rocking.
Yes, it is.
All right.
I'm not sure, man.
Now
I'm
let
not
me ask you a question. What is your wall made of between you and your neighbor?
Not sure.
You don't know. If you think it's concrete though, like if you fucking rock that shit, this is hollow here. Fuck. Shit just legit fell out of the ceiling. This is hollow. All right.
All right,
This
no,
is
I don't think
brick.
it's
This is
hollow.
brick here, maybe behind.
Yeah, there's
that's
a layer.
different
Definitely
sound.
don't think it's hollow. I mean, but I also hear my neighbors.
But, I mean, I know my shit between me and my neighbor is not brick. I think it's insulated, but I don't think it's brick.
Right. I mean, I definitely hear my neighbors. You know what I mean? Like if I am say I'm in the bathroom or something, I can hear them talking on the phone. So I can only imagine that they hear my music. You know what I mean?
Ooh, good.
But so give me a time. You said 11.
11,
And
but
you
I
think what?
definitely don't turn it off at 11. But okay.
During the week,
Mm-hmm.
11. I'm in
During the
Yeah,
weekend, weekends.
About that.
12.
That's not that much difference.
It's an hour.
For
Okay,
me,
so
for me, it's more like 1, 2 a.m.
okay, so now we're talking music, right?
Yes.
All right.
Or
How
just
how about
party
loud?
vibe.
How about hot loud sex? It's a
Can't
fact of
control that.
nature. It's a
Can't
fact of
control
nature.
that.
People make noise when they have sex.
That's true.
I bring this
But,
up only
like-
because I had a neighbor. So the studio next to me complains because I'm loud. All right, this guy's new. He's been there for 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
The woman before him, she only lived there for 6 months. She was like 80 years old. She complained every other day.
Yeah, she probably didn't even
The
hear
woman before her, the girl before her, had sex 45 times a day.
it. Damn.
The only interaction I had was listening to her.
Yeah, I can only
It was
imagine
some
walking
weird
into
shit.
the elevator
But this
with her.
is my point. Is this is New York City? You live on top of people.
Yeah.
Would it have been okay for me to knock on her door and be like, "Excuse me, hope you didn't climax yet, but I just wanted to ask you to quiet down."
Well, that would certainly lead to a really awkward situation.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, a freight train couldn't stop me, but you know that's.
But that guy didn't mind, knocking on my door the other night at 9:45 at night.
That's fair. I don't know.
And we weren't doing anything special. We were hanging out, playing cards, sitting at the table.
I've personally never been in a situation like that, but I can give a funny story about something like that, though.
Is it a sex story?
It was a noise complaint.
I don't want to hear this
That's
story.
fair.
Okay, let me ask you a question. All right, let's flip this.
Okay.
So you're living in an apartment. You got to be up early the next day because you got kids, you got school, you got to work. Let's say you got to be up at some obnoxious hour, like 8.
Okay.
Which is obnoxious, right? It's crazy. And then your next door neighbor's making noise.
What kind of noise?
Noise that you can't sleep. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if it's sex noise, movie noise, music noise, talking noise. You can't sleep.
Well, before I'm just going to go and confront my neighbor and cause a bigger issue, I'm probably just going to, like, maybe put a pillow over my head or just take, a pill or something to go to sleep just so I knock out. But if it's, like, that loud where it's actually keeping me awake, maybe at that point I would knock on the door and be like, bro, like, you gotta cut it in some shape or form and or at least lower the volume a little bit. I'm actually trying to sleep. If it's like a Monday night or a Tuesday night, I'm definitely going to say something.
But how do you do that? Do you hold it out that night? Because not everybody's super confrontational. Do you hold it out that night, write a letter, talk to them the next day? Do you go knock on their door? What's the best thing to do?
In that moment.
Because
Don't
okay,
hold
so
it
bear in
down.
mind. Okay, let me give a scenario. So I'm at a party. It's 2:00 in the morning.
Okay.
They've quieted down since midnight, but they're still in a party. So you drop next door, and they're probably a little bit drunk, and then what?
Can I ask for who lives here? And then once that person comes to the door, I'm either going to be at a point where like my frustration level's like at a tipping point, so I'm going to maybe be a little edgy because I'm trying to get to sleep. I'm a little frustrated,
Yeah.
like any other person would be. I'd be like, bro, you gotta like either tell everyone to go home or it's got to go even lower. It's 2:00 in the morning in the middle of the week. Like we got to chill. And if you're not cool with that, then like me dialing 311 is going to do nothing.
Well, I think first steps is knocking the door. That's my
Yeah.
opinion. Knocking the door. The thing is, if you're going to be ballsy enough to complain about it and you got a problem with it, which if it's that bad, you should say something. It's not that bad. Like suck it up. It's New York City.
Yeah.
But if you're ballsy enough to complain about it, you got to own that shit. All right. And the first thing you got to do before you complain to management, before you call 311, I think, is say something to the neighbor.
Yeah.
Next step, write them a note because maybe they were drunk that night when you talked to them. You write them a note, and then after 2 points of contact, then you contact management. And if management doesn't do anything about it, then you contact 311. I think in that order.
Well, what's the likelihood management is going to do anything?
Well, they probably call. Management called me after last weekend. And they said, you guys are too loud. I was like, I had the doorman there. He couldn't even hear anything outside of my apartment door, which is completely uninsulated as metal. I mean, I understand that your walls aren't insulated, but what am I supposed to, live like a hermit crab?
What was the reaction?
There's, oh, we know it's not insulated. If you could just try to keep it down. It is what it is.
That sounds like kind of powerless, though, on their end. Like that's why I'm asking why.
I
rather
think,
call
I think a lot. I
311.
think a lot of it comes down to the fact that people that live in New York City don't really know their neighbors.
No.
Okay, and that's kind of another topic that I want to bring up is that how well you know your neighbors, and I mean, the thing is, in New York City, you live on top of each other. So I know that my mom came down the first time, and bought. I just said I don't know what it was, but she's like in line at the grocery store. She's talking to the people next to her, and I could tell. I'm watching. She's talking to people. She's like talking about life. I can see people are getting uncomfortable because she's treating it like she would living in the country that she does. You run into somebody, you haven't seen somebody in the last 14 months because you live in the fucking woods.
Right.
So you talk to them. But in New York City, people are on top of each other all the time. So, out of respect for everybody's personal space, because you're not going to talk to every single person
Right.
for 40 minutes each, right?
No.
You just kind of keep to yourself. Right? Now, when you live in a development, you have a neighbor on one side, on the other side in front of you, right? In the suburbs. If you live in the city, you have 6 neighbors this way, 8 neighbors this way, and 4 neighbors in front of you. You can't be on a personal... I mean, you can. But you're likely not to be... I've been in the same place where I have been living now for 6 years.
Right.
I don't really know the neighbors. Like the lady got off the elevator the other day. She didn't say hi. She just looked down on the ground and walked around the corner. I had one guy a few months ago. He introduced himself to me, gave me his name, we exchanged names, told me his apartment number. After that interaction, I was like, oh shit, I probably should move or something, right? It was a bit too personal, though. That's my point. It was a bit too personal. Now, as the girl that passed by me walking into the elevator was a bit too impersonal. So really, where do you draw these lines with neighbors? How long you live in your house? A long time?
4 years or so.
4 years. How long you lived in yours? 3 years?
3? Yeah, I'm on the 3rd year.
I learned mine for 6. How long your place before that?
Just a year or so. How long?
Okay. How many neighbors on your floor can you remember their name?
None.
For real?
None. I don't even know who lives above me or under me or next to me. I have no fucking clue.
You live in a 20-story building.
Yeah.
And you live on floor 16.
Yeah. And I don't know
even
who
know
lives
anybody.
next door. I don't know. I mean,
Is there
listen,
a
I'm
doorman?
cool with
Is there a
everyone.
doorman?
No.
No, okay. Is there a super?
Yeah.
You know his name?
No.
Oh, shit. All right. So, Adam, do you know your neighbors' names?
I know one of them, but she told me her name the first time I met her. I had to help her out with something with management like a year ago. She's a very nice woman, but I haven't had the heart to be like, listen, you told me your name the first time I met you and I don't remember, and now I just feel embarrassed to ask.
Why don't you just break into our mailbox?
It's terrible.
I'm kidding.
Yeah.
So you don't know any of your neighbors' names?
No. Just there's a couple women that smile at me.
So,
in the
but that's my
morning,
point. That's my point, is that living in New York City, you don't know. Because out of respect for people's personal space, though, I feel like. Like, if you have 2 neighbors in your development, in the suburbs, you probably know them. If you live in the country and there's one person that lives a mile away, you probably know them.
Yeah.
But the fact that you live with 14 people above you or 13 people above you,
Right, yeah.
and however many people below you, you don't know these people, right? You got 11 people above you, 13 people, whatever.
Right.
It's a lot of people. To know everybody and be involved in their business, you're taking away from their personal privacy.
Could I make a point?
Mm-hmm.
So, maybe, a bit of a theory, maybe, I don't know. I'd love to hear some input from everybody else too, but what if, as New Yorkers, we work so much. We interact with people all day, 6, 7 days a week in some cases, or most cases. But maybe by the time they get home, they're just so mentally and physically exhausted that the last thing they want to do is try to make it more of a community. They're just go to their apartment, cook their dinner, go home, relax, and go to bed.
So your apartment is your haven. It's your cave.
Right.
It's your
And
cave.
maybe more people think that way than you would imagine.
So I just think personal space is a big issue. Rosh was talking to me about him sharing keys with his neighbor, and his neighbor sharing keys with him. His wife did it first, and then passed it by him and was like, what do you think? And he's like, I think that's fucking insane. But now he's on good terms with the neighbors. And the neighbor came to them first. Would you ever share keys with your neighbor?
Oh,
For what?
hell no.
For what? Like, what are you sharing keys for?
Well, I'm lucky enough to have a doorman. So if I ever get locked out or somebody comes to my house and I'm not there, like my friend George came down to the city the other day, he drove, wasn't going to park in Midtown where there's no parking.
Yeah.
So he drove down to the city, parked in my house, and grabbed the key and went up to the apartment, unpacked his stuff, and then jumped out of a cab and came down to the office.
Okay. Makes sense.
Right? Like,
Yeah.
cool. I was lucky to have the doorman and have George be able to come down. But if you don't have a doorman, what else are you going to do? Hide a key under your fucking carpet? Because that's an invitation.
People do this.
That's
People do
not
it.
in New York City, though.
You're gonna put a fake rock in
Yeah,
front
a
of your
fake rock in front of you. Like, this is
apartment
nature.
door.
There's no key underneath it here.
Yeah, fair. That's
Right?
fair. Yeah.
So, what you got, Evander?
I would say you could get a lockbox.
You could get a lockbox,
Ooh.
but where are you going to attach that to?
The doorknob.
The doorknob? So every time you go in and out of your apartment, you're going to have to go buy this lockbox.
Yeah.
Seems a little impractical to me. But depending where you are, if you're one of those side entrances or you're on the first floor past the staircase, you hook up a lockbox. The thing is, having it on your own doorknob 24/7, I'm not crazy about. But depending on the location of your apartment, I actually think it's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
But also a lockbox, when somebody knows that key,
Yeah.
everybody knows the key to get in, the key to
Yeah.
numbers, right? Would you ever share a key with a neighbor?
I
3
think
years into your building.
I think it truly depends on the location too. Like I not to say like certain locations have different types of people or maybe more trustworthy, but it just depends on your neighborhood and the environment and how well you know sort of the building overall. You know, like there has been an incident that happened where like some people in my building have had packages stolen in the past in the lobby.
Packages stolen. It's a major. That's a major thing in New York City, having a package stolen. Especially if
Yeah.
you don't have a package room or a concierge or doorman. Somebody drops a package at your door. They drop a package in the lobby, and that shit just disappears
And to me,
because
like
nobody signs for it.
right, but that right there tells me I'm like, yeah, no, you know, you don't know who that could be, and I'm certainly not about to trust someone that I've never interacted with, I know nothing about. We could totally have the same interests, but I'm not about to just take that nosedive with all my personal belongings in my apartment and give them access to that. Now, like, I would give maybe you a key to my apartment in case I lock myself out, or like a good friend or a colleague or something like that. That's fine. Or my cleaning lady. But I'm not going to give my key to some strange person.
Well, they're
I
not
don't- you know.
strange after you develop that relationship. Maybe you cook them a pie or something. To be honest with you, if a neighbor ever cooked some shit and brought it to my apartment, I would never eat that. No, ever.
Why?
Kill
I
them.
don't know my neighbors. Some fucking weird shit. If that guy that lives next to me in the studio that complains about my noise cooked me some food, I'd like check that shit for razor blades, cyanide, just so I could report him to the cops. But I wouldn't eat it one way or the other. Like, there's no way.
Following that same logic, I wouldn't share my key with anyone.
Exactly. Okay,
Yeah.
so fair enough. So the
We're
key
on
sharing on a
agreement.
neighbor is weird. That's the benefit I will say having a doorman is that you have somebody have the key. If you live in an apartment building with the super, theoretically, like that would be their
Right,
job to
yeah.
give into your apartment. They should have a key too, in my
Yeah.
opinion. Right?
True.
Also,
That's true.
I mean, it's fucking 2020, so like you want to have some camera, some ding dong video doorbell
Yeah.
shit. Like you should have some extra level of security, at least a camera somewhere on the exterior door, on the inside of the door.
Yeah.
I think that
That's
would just be
definitely
safe.
smart.
And then it doesn't protect you from it doesn't prevent anything from happening. But if it happens, you can see what happened, and then you get a appropriate police report, especially if it's with
Yeah.
your building or the super or something like that.
That's a big difference. Yeah.
All right. So speaking of supers, though, tipping supers around the holidays, tipping supers and doormen around the holidays. Have you ever tipped your super before?
I have.
You have. On
Yeah.
move-in, on holiday. When did you tip your super?
On move-in, on holiday, like when it's appropriate. When
Is
it's
this
appropriate.
theoretic, or this is something you've actually done?
No, this is something I've actually done.
Okay.
Like if the super's gonna come in and install the AC for me
Mhm.
or something like that,
Mhm.
I'm gonna tip him $20 or $50,
Okay.
whatever it is, that I feel is appropriate.
What if we act on
Just to
Adam?
have that good relationship.
Adam, how about you?
Yeah, absolutely.
What if we give him
I will even tip him on the Sunday night if something happens in my apartment
Mm-hmm.
and it's like an emergency. Like I think of Sundays, if I'm gonna maybe rest on Sunday evening or something like that, I certainly would expect that anyone else would probably want Sunday evenings to chill out. And if I need him for an emergency, I'll even tip him some cash then because he's going out of his way to handle something last minute. And
So let me ask you a question. What's a last-minute issue?
let's say your toilet starts leaking.
You got a toilet leak
Yeah,
or a plug. More likely a plug in your case.
yeah.
So your toilet's overflowing. It's a Sunday night.
Yeah, so
You
there
had a
was
big
actually
brunch.
a crack.
You had a
There was
big brunch.
One time I had a cracked Johnny ring in the base of the toilet, so there's actually all this water started flooding out from underneath the toilet, and it was like 10 o'clock on a Sunday. Now, what are you really supposed to do? It's not like I could put a bunch of towels. The water's going to keep coming. And there was, about an inch thick of water that was in my bathroom. So I got my super to come up. He fixed it right away, and I tipped him pretty generously.
Did he
and
clean it or he fixed it?
Cleaned and fixed.
How about when you moved in? Did you tip the super?
No, because I didn't meet my super for the first 5 days that I lived there. Because this super was fired, but he was drunk.
I think I remember you telling me this.
Yeah.
Super was an alcoholic. He didn't do anything.
He didn't do anything. He wouldn't help us move in, wouldn't supervise anything, didn't really participate at all in my move-in. So I don't think you deserve a tip if that's how you're going to be,
Okay. All right. So, so you had a super that didn't do anything, and you didn't tip him when you moved in.
No.
Okay.
The new super, though, I tipped him for the holidays. His name is Carlo. He's a nice guy. Really helpful.
And what's a good tip amount for a super for the holidays?
$50?
$50 for the holidays.
Yeah.
Okay. What if you got a few supers?
How many?
I don't know. What if there's three different supers in your building?
If
You
I've
tip them all the
actually-
same amount?
If I've interacted with at least all three, and I've met them, or we've had a situation or a conversation,
Right.
possibly $50. But if I don't know them and I've never met them, and I'm reading their name and looking at their face for the first time, so I know some buildings, like full service buildings, will offer like a kind of like almost like a catalog of.
So
people
I'll
that work
tell you.
in the
I'll tell you
building.
exactly what happens in my building. Every my building and the garage. So there's probably about 30 people that work for my building. This is insane. So there's like probably 8 to 12 doormen, depending on the season, and then you have the supers, and then you have the handyman, and then there's a bunch of different titles and different levels of who does what for the building. But there's about 30 people that work for my building. Every year I get a holiday card. And it says Happy Holidays from your building staff, and it has a headshot of every single person that works for the building. So effectively, the way that I look at it, the way that other residents look at it, is here's a reminder of who you need to tip this year.
Right. Yeah. That's what
Okay.
it is.
Okay? Now, I think $50 in 2012 is a fair amount,
Okay.
in my opinion. I think 50 is a fair. I just think $20 these days buys you like a Snickers and like a Snapple.
Where are you shopping?
But no, I'm just saying, like in 2020, $20 is it's not going to get you anywhere.
Okay.
You know, 4 people give you $20, you got $80. Like you can go to a movie and buy popcorn. Like, shit, that's it,
Oh, basically,
right?
it's like
Like
50,
$20 is not, it's not that much. So I think $50 is fair. All right, I feel a little uncomfortable tipping somebody in 2020 less than $50. Given I live in a
Really?
decent building, so I don't want to shortchange anybody. I'm not like going to tip somebody $200 or $100. It's not a luxury building. It's not
Right.
like I'm not rolling in money that I'm going to tip people like a decent chunk of change going on vacation type of money. But I think 50 is fair. All right?
Even if you have
But
3 supers.
there's about 30 people in a building, and that's my point. Is that it reaches a certain point where 50 times 30 people
Right.
is $3,000.
It's too much.
Or $3,000, $1,500.
Yeah, that's too much.
1,500.
Yeah, so my bad. Either way, it's a lot of money.
Yeah, it is.
So I don't feel like.
For people you don't even know.
So here's what I do though: is I tip the people that I've interacted with over the last year.
That's
Okay.
what I
Right,
was
So
yeah,
what I
like the
do
people
is
who
I
have
make a
service
holiday
you,
card.
yeah.
I make a holiday card for each and every person. I put a little cash in there, and I carry them on me. Luckily, it's holidays, so I can have a jacket, and I keep 4 or 5 cards in the jacket. When I see them, I do it discreetly because I don't want somebody that I don't even know. If I know your name and I've seen you over the last year or so, I think that's fair enough. If I don't know who you are, this is my opinion, because bear in mind, there's a lot of people that keep the building running that
you
I
don't
don't
know.
see. I don't want to shit on them, right? And that's my issue, and that's why I'm bringing this up, because I feel like it's fair. Somebody's helped me. They came, they picked up, the Christmas tree from my apartment. Like we have people that come, they give you a giant plastic bag, they put over the Christmas tree, they tie it at the bottom, they tie it at the top, and they carry the tree out, no needles, which is insane, right? This is fucking awesome, right? Now that person, in my opinion, deserves a tip.
Yeah, definitely.
Holiday tip, $50, right? I think that's fair. But when somebody doesn't really participate or get engaged and help me at all, presumably they're helping other people, and those people are tipping them. I don't know. I'd love people on social media to contribute to the conversation. I'd love people, post edit on YouTube to contribute to the conversation. This is my opinion. A lot of people have written articles on this. I think $20 to $50 is fair. I think anything less than 20 is not fair. I think a card, not exactly fair. I think at the very least, you cook fucking 48 cookies and you give everybody 4 cookies at the holidays. Everybody 6 cookies. I think that's reasonably fair. But I think doing nothing or giving an empty-handed card with no cash in it, I think is not fair. But I also think the doing nothing thing is kind of shitty.
My thing is this. I'm going to tip the super. Like, if there are multiple supers, I'm going to tip the super who actually serviced me. You know what I mean? Who I actually called and needed help with. And they provided that help. If you're my super and I never called you and I never needed you for anything, why should I tip you?
Okay, fair enough.
That's my attitude. Like, if you actually service me, I'll totally tip you. You know what I mean? But like, if I don't even know you and you never needed to go out of your way to help me, why should I tip you?
Todd, that's you. Welcome, Todd, to the podcast.
Thank you.
Todd, you want to introduce yourself? You're looking at this red camera over here.
How you doing? My name is Todd Braithwaite, real estate agent at DiGiulio Group.
All right, that's it. And what are your thoughts on tipping?
My thoughts on tipping.
So let me ask you a question. You live in a doorman building, a building with a super, you live in a high-rise, or low-rise?
I grew up in a doorman building.
Okay.
Building with a super. We had about 3 supers, Dave, Jose, and Leroy actually is his name. The one I grew up dealing with the most would be Jose and Leroy, and those are the ones I would see, like my grandmother actually do things for at the holidays. I agree that if I have not dealt with you, like you said, if I have not dealt with you, or you haven't helped me actively fix any issues in my time of this year to having to do the holiday thing, I'm not obligated to tip you because we don't have a relationship. What am I tipping you for? Thank you for working here?
Right.
No.
That's my sentiment.
I'll
exactly.
tip you for, like Adam said, if I can call you at 10 o'clock and I know that my super's reliable and holy crap, my whole apartment's flooding, I'm going to tip you. You know what I'm saying? Because I know that I can rely on you. But if I don't know you and then you want me to tip you and I can't even call you at 10:30, I don't even think to call you because I don't know you. So why am I giving you money? That's my thought. But then I also lived in a building where my super was there and I knew his name. And for example, I lived on Hart Street in Bed-Stuy, a nice little building, veterans building actually. And we had a super there, but he would take his sweet time. I actually had a leak in my bathroom where my toilet had the same thing. My O-ring went bad.
Yeah,
And
which is insane.
It's
That's
insane.
Dirty fucking shit.
Exactly.
That's not cool.
It's not at
It's
all.
not cool on any stretch. Let me ask another question. Summertime, you got to install an AC. Now, I've installed ACs before in my apartment, only when I had access to the outside window. So whether there was you're not supposed to install it if it's your only fire escape window, but some fire escapes have 2 windows that lead to the fire escape. So like you can put it in one, and that's your fire safe, fire legal. So I've installed it there. I've installed it when I'm on the first floor, and I could install it any other window, any other time. But liability reasons, if I have to install a fire escape and I'm on the 8th floor, the 15th floor, the 5th floor, whatever it might be, and there's no I don't have the ability to go around the other side of it, I don't want to do it. You know why? Because if that shit drops out and crushes somebody,
You don't want
You
to be
already
liable.
shouldn't
I
have
don't
it
wanna
there
be
because
liable.
it's a liability.
So, and this is what I tell my clients all the time when we have renters. If you're going to install an AC, call a super, give them $50.
100%.
Right? And you can buy a decent AC unit for a room for $100 in the summertime. I mean, a good AC unit is like $400, $200 depending on the size of the room. But like if you have a bedroom, queen size bedroom in New York City, $100 you can get PC Richards or Home Depot. You can get a good sale.
PC Richards, you might get it for $79.
Yeah, exactly. So less than $100 plus $50 to super to install it. You got to carry that home.
Oh, that's fun.
But I think, I remember living in Astoria, and I was dating somebody. I had to carry her AC unit back from Home Depot, like 17 blocks.
No delivery service?
Yeah, but this is back in the day.
Oh, before the delivery service.
No, you got to do shit on your own. Man.
Yeah, exactly.
But we had to carry that AC, a weight and a half.
Cut your fingers on the front end of the
No, it
grill
was in
too.
a box. It was in a box. But I think $50 a super for AC is reasonable. So I'll double down on that. Would you agree with me? Everybody agrees. $50 a super to install the AC. Cool. All right.
Definitely.
So when you move in, super gives you keys. He does a walkthrough. Maybe you have an issue or two. Maybe a cabinet door doesn't fully align. He comes in. He pop with the electric screwdriver, and good, and you're good to go.
Yeah.
You tip the super?
Yeah.
Yes.
How much?
20 to 40.
Yeah. No,
Depending
I'm
on how much
capping that
work
at
needs
20.
to be done.
Okay, here's my thought. I was thinking in advance of the podcast, you tip this for this. Yes. And then I was thinking, but wait a second. This is your first interaction with a super.
Right.
Are you setting a standard
Yes.
that if this guy does work for you, you're going to give him money?
Yes. I'm not just gonna
Yeah.
tip you because you gave me my keys, bro. I just paid to get the apartment. I paid for my keys.
Okay.
I would not tip the super on the first walkthrough.
No?
Even if he
No.
straightens out your cabinets and stuff for you.
No,
Why is that?
because that's before I've even settled into a home that I established for myself. And that walkthrough that we establish with clients is for them to do that before they actually begin their moving in process.
Let me
That's
say
like
something,
last
though.
minute cleanup work that should have been done.
If you're,
before.
what
It's
if
part of
the
their job.
majority of people in the building are tipping the super? So now you don't tip the super. So you think you're cool because you don't think it's worth anything. But now you are no longer a priority for that super. So when you have an issue, he doesn't answer the phone. He doesn't save your number. First time that phone rings, he doesn't answer. Or maybe he knows your number. He knows which apartment you are. He doesn't answer when the phone rings because he knows who you are. He's going to let you wait. Back burner. You're on the back burner.
And then when I finally do get that meeting
Were
with
you
him or
complaining
one-on-one,
to the manager?
no, when I
No,
do get
no.
that one-on-one with him, and then going forward, I will tip him. And this happened with my
But the
last
whole
super, and everything was fine.
tip is to ensure promptness, which oddly it's done after the fact, which I've always thought, like when I'm at a bar or restaurant and I order a drink right off the bat, I always leave a solid tip.
Offer it
Yeah.
so that they serve you for the rest
Like
of
if
the
I'm
night.
in the
promptly.
money, it'll be $10 or $20. If it's a normal night, first tip is always $5, no matter, even if I just get a $6 beer or something. It's always too much money for the first drink. After that, I'll do $2 a rip or whatever,
Or you
or
pretty
I'll,
much-
or I'll open a tab and it'll be 15-18%. But if I'm tipping in cash, first one is always more. Why? Because now he's going to be like, oh, they tip me well.
I do the same thing.
Whether he forgets about me or not, I have at least I have that going for me,
Yeah.
right? So if you're moving in and you start off on a bad foot, which it sounds like what you're telling us it is, you don't tip him right off the bat. You'll tip him down the line if he does something. What we're saying is he's less likely to do something down the line.
Yeah.
I don't think so, because when I first moved into my first place, which ironically are not for everyone listening at home, that's how Justin and I met. I didn't tip the super initially. There was a minor thing or two in the bathroom that needed to be fixed or that wasn't installed properly.
That was mine. Oh,
So
that's yours? I
he
didn't
came
know.
right up before I moved any of my stuff in, and he fixed it right away. No harm, no foul. Next thing I know is I asked to be put up on the buzzer. He forgot. I had to go down one more time and ask him, and then I threw him $20, and then that was it. But I never tipped him on the initial thing to fix that was not installed correctly initially from him.
Right.
That's not on me. I shouldn't be tipping you to do your job twice,
All right, so here's what I'm going to throw out there.
right?
I think, in analyzing what we were going to talk about for this podcast,
Okay.
tipping a super right off the bat when you move in, there's really no issues.
No, there's no issues
No.
with that.
No.
I feel like
But-
it's personal choice.
But a 6-pack of beer, a cigar, a bottle of wine, some type of, I'm new to the building, thank you in advance for your care of me moving forward is a really good idea.
Yeah.
I think the
agree.
monetary, I actually think you're really setting a standard that's bad.
That you're always going to pay
Bottle of
me.
wine, 6-pack of beer, a couple of cigars, something along those lines, brilliant, in my opinion. But the $50 cash, the $20 cash, I think in 2020 is insulting. I'm sorry. I
Just
remember
a
growing up,
citizen?
for $10 you could almost fill up your gas tank.
Sure.
All right, growing up. Now, when I first started driving, $10 would almost fill up your gas tank. All right. Now, $56 if you
16.
got a couple of gallons in the tank. All right. So now my point is, $20 back in the day, different type of thing. $50 now is a new $10 then.
I agree with
The
that.
problem is not everybody has the $200 where the $50 is nothing. You know what I'm saying?
Hold on a
Back
second.
in the day, you had the 100, so the 10 or
But-
20 was nothing. Now you barely have the 100, you barely have the 200. So $50 is something, but it's also not nothing.
Exactly.
But hold on a second. But if $20 is almost disrespectful, but a 6-pack of beer or 12-pack of beer that only costs you
Now we're
12
not
or
talking
15
money.
bucks.
Now we're not talking money.
Right, but it still is monetary value. You know what
It's
I mean?
not.
But
Like
it's a gift.
it
It's
is
a
a
gift.
gift, but
You
it
know how much-
costs
you
you
know how
less
much a
than
greeting
20.
card
If
costs?
$20 is disrespectful, but a $15 gift is like awesome, then
know
like
what?
what's going on here?
I'll tell you what.
know?
I'll tell you what. You know how much flowers cost?
$13 for a fruit bouquet of roses.
$13.
I know, trust me, married. I buy them.
All right, 13
All
bucks.
right, but you take somebody out to dinner for $140.
And they might not even get the same appreciation that you give them
You're
flowers.
not because you gotta eat. People gotta eat, but nobody eats fucking flowers,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
Nobody eats flowers, but you gotta eat.
True.
All right, so you gotta eat for $140. You gotta eat for $30. Same shit, different tablecloth.
That's a fact.
Also, the $20, he's gonna do something else. He's gonna end up wiping his nose with that. But you give him a 6-pack of beer
He's gonna appreciate it.
because he's gonna get off a hard day's work. He's gonna go home. He's gonna sit down. He's gonna crack open that cold beer that you gave him at the beginning of his shift that he's been looking forward to
What
his
does
whole
$20
shift.
buy you? If I gave you $20 right now, what are you doing with it? Like legit, I give you $20. You have 20 in your pocket.
I
You go
don't
back
know.
to Brooklyn. What are you doing with that shit?
I'm probably spending it on food.
Are you actually even appreciating the $20? Are you actually even
I
appreciating?
do
No,
appreciate.
no.
I appreciate that just as much as I would appreciate a 12-pack of beer. Because guess what? I don't even like beer. But the point is that like
That's why. What do you
that-
like? What do you like?
Whiskey. I don't know.
Vodka.
Yeah, sure. But
Weed. How much is
weed.
weed?
Yeah. I do
Well,
like
you give
weed.
me
How much-
$20. I didn't know I could say that on here, but you give me $20 and I have $20. You just bought my smoke for the night.
Look,
Sorry.
the way I
All
see
right,
it, man.
but let me ask you a
$20,
question. Let me
like-
ask you a question. If I
You
give
know.
you $20 and you buy a Metro card for 5 stops, right? What is $20? Like 5
Yeah,
stops.
5
on a
stops.
Metro card,
Just about.
right?
Actually,
That's
not even.
nothing,
3.5.
Because you got to do it anyways. All right. If I give you, I don't know anything about weed. If I give you like a 6 bud pack,
All right, so if he
count?
gave you a quarter.
A
All right, so I give you a quarter. What is that? A quarter of gram?
Quarter 7 grams.
All right,
Quarter
a
of an
quarter of
ounce.
7 grams. So if I give you 1/4 of 7, all right.
For all those listening at home, Justin's not quite familiar with the lingo.
I'm not a big
So
guy.
it would be a dub. Okay.
Yeah, it's a double weed.
So,
Yes.
so, but I give you something, and it's like, cool, I'm good. I'm gonna go home and enjoy the fuck out of this,
Yeah.
right? You're gonna go home and enjoy that shit, right?
Yeah, sure.
You're not gonna enjoy $20 of fucking Subway tokens.
No.
Like
I
that's
probably
not
don't
a
even
thing,
use
man.
them shits.
It's just like I'm good. He got that for me. I'm good behind you, back pocket type of shit. Not like I got this like here. I can't wait to do it. I can't wait to smoke it.
Right.
And I'm gonna enjoy
I get
that
what you're
shit.
saying, but like, I guess it comes back to like the idea of.
Let me ask you a
gifts.
question. You
So,
go home,
like-
you want to get high. Do you just do it in the subway while you're fucking walking? Or you go somewhere reasonably private, you get to unwind,
Yeah.
smoke a little bit, and chill the fuck out?
Yeah,
All right?
sure, I try to
How
do
how
that.
often are you fucking chilling when you're fucking swiping your subway card and sitting on a train?
Not
and
too
buying
often.
subway
Not too
subway
often.
points. Never. Never. Unless you're high as
You can
fuck
tell
before.
Justin hasn't
But
taken
at the
a
end of
train
the
in a
day,
while.
if somebody's giving me a gift, but
that?
they're
I
I
giving
can tell
me
you
a
haven't taken a
cash
train
gift,
in a while.
I take the train.
Look,
I
at the end of
can
the
tell you
day,
when I'm
look,
taking the train, I'm not chilling. I'm like, I don't want the
All right,
coronavirus.
all right, I guess,
Right?
look, man,
I'm not chilling. If I was a big pot smoker, I would enjoy the fuck out of every puff of that.
Yeah.
All right? So the thing is, in my opinion, fucking tangent, long story short, if you're going to do something like that, first thing when you're meeting at Super, a gift I think is better.
Okay,
A gift is appreciated. Later on, cash is expected. But if you start that interaction with cash,
He's expecting
All right.
cash.
it's
heavy
expected that
interaction.
it's going to be cash moving on forward.
Here's-
Especially if you give a good gift. If you give 50 or $100 right off the rip, that's expected. That's expected from you moving forward.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
This is the last thing I want to bring up, unless anybody else has got anything. Evander, you got anything to be added? You got anything you want to talk about?
well, I just want to clarify that the gift, like, when it comes to gifts, like, if somebody's giving me a gift for my birthday, right, and they want to spend $100, right, and they're like, they have the choice of getting me some bows, headphones or something and just giving me the cash value to get those myself. And they're like, hey man, I just didn't know which kind you want. You know, I don't know. Just do whatever you want with it. Get those headphones, or if you want, spend it on whatever else you want. To me, it's like, okay, awesome. Thank you so much, man. I really appreciate it just as much as I would appreciate if they got me the gift to begin with.
No, man,
know
you
what I'm
got
saying?
bills. You got bills.
Facts.
You gotta throw $85 down towards your cell phone.
I got
And now
bills.
you're le- and now-
Exactly.
and now you're
That's
left-
to my point.
and now
I
you're
got
le- and-
bills,
yeah.
so like maybe I'll take
So
that
every
$100
month-
and
every
buy
month
the
when you
gift,
every
or
month
maybe
when you-
I'll
every
put
month-
it towards something more important.
Every month when you use that cell phone, you're gonna appreciate that person? No. But every month when you use those headphones, you're gonna appreciate that person.
Every day you use those.
Every
headphones.
day you use those headphones.
You're
That's
gonna
how gifts
appreciate
work. So I agree where you're
Alright.
coming from. I totally see where you're coming from. That the cash is more versatile than the gift. But I will
Yeah.
tell you, you appreciate the giver.
I agree
You
with
appreciate the
that.
giver less when it's cash.
When it's a gift that's always in your face.
I got one more thing I want to talk about, and I don't want to get too racial on this. All right, I was hoping maybe Yaya or somebody would be involved in the
great that you're
conversation.
I'm right here.
But nah. So here's what I want to talk about: just cooking food when you live in an apartment building. Because we're
No
in New York
fish.
City.
No
We're-
fish.
Well, I've had the argument 4 or 5 times in the last 2 weeks. Well, all of a sudden, it's a brand new year. Everybody thinks they're healthy motherfuckers. They want to
Everybody's
eat
a
fucking
pescatarian.
salmon. They want to eat salmon and fucking halibut and fucking white snapper. Blah.
That's fine.
Either way, the whole fucking office, all 500 square feet, smells so goddamn bad. Fish you can't cook in an office. When you live in a house, I think it's okay to cook fish. Sorry, Adam. What are you gonna say? What I'm talking about is living in an apartment building and you got 8 people on that floor.
So the one testament for the office, just a real quick point. I don't care how much fish you want to cook or broil or throw in that microwave. That looks absolutely gross. I would never put food in there. But more importantly, you could do that. But if you're not gonna buy any kind of like cleaning device or like Lysol or Glade or something that
Febreze.
alleviates the smell for everybody else, then don't bother to cook your damn fish in the office. I know all of you are listening at home. So
All right, but
please
at home,
no.
you got 8 people, you got 16 people, you got 4 people that live on
I
the
don't care.
floor.
Eat some damn meat or some
I'll
chicken.
What's outlawed?
I feel
What's
like
outlawed?
strong smells. And I'll give you an example. This is why I'm so adamant about it. You know, I just moved into a new apartment this year.
I did not know that.
I lived last year. When I first came, I was moving in Brooklyn. But now I'm on the bottom. I have a duplex, first 2 floors.
I didn't mean to.
Now, when my upstairs neighbor decides that he wants to make his ackee and saltfish, or his rockfish and grits, whatever he wants to make.
Where's he from? I'm just curious. I don't want to be too
I
racial.
live,
but
well, no, I live in Brooklyn. I live in
But probably
Bed-Stuy,
talking
Crown
about cultural
Heights.
food. What
We're
type of
all
food is it?
Caribbean over there. I don't mind smelling ackee and saltfish. I don't mind eating
If
ackee
you
and
get some,
saltfish.
if you get some, yeah.
You feel me? But if I'm not eating ackee and saltfish, or I'm not eating any fish, why then do I, who live in a duplex and only connection to you is my upstairs, why am I smelling your ackee and saltfish in my kitchen while I'm trying to my food, and I'm 2 floors under you?
You just cooking that pasta with butter and salt. and
Yeah,
pepper,
it's
right?
like certain smells that travel.
Yeah.
You should at least have the courtesy that if you're gonna fix that, cover your door so it doesn't.
Cover the door.
Put a towel under the door or something so that the smell
Really?
doesn't permeate through the whole floor.
So you're saying that's a real thing? You're thinking put a towel under the door?
Yes.
That's something that you would do.
Yes, when I
That's
cook
something you
something, that's something. This old lady's the one when I lived in a doorman building that I told you about. This old lady, she watched me grow up. She actually came down one day. I was cooking ackee and saltfish. It was I know that ackee and saltfish.
What is
is a-
ackee and saltfish for the people on the camera?
It's a West Indian dish.
Look at the red
It's-
camera. Look at the red camera.
It's a Jamaican dish. It smells really crazy while you prepare it, but when it's done, oh my God, it's amazing.
So what type of fish is it?
It's a saltfish.
Salt fish.
Yes.
That's what you call it. And what's the other part?
Ackee.
Which is what?
It's like a not a bread, but it's a starch.
What is it? Potato?
It's like a potato. Yeah, it's like
I don't know, and I eat a lot of.
I don't know exactly what an ackee is. I've never seen an actual ackee. You understand? But
you know what it is.
But I know that it's a starch, and but it's not from my island. I'm Bayesian. Ackee and
Right.
saltfish is a Jamaican thing. So I've eaten it, but it's a really strong smell. And everybody don't eat that, Justin. You know what I'm saying? Everybody doesn't even. Some people don't even like the smell of fish. So why then would you be inconsiderate to flood your whole floor with the smell of fish?
So what are you gonna do? Stuff a towel under your front door?
Yeah, the same way that if I was to do some other thing, I would stuff a towel so I don't inconvenience you.
Well, there's also something you can get that can go under your both sides of your door.
It's the little sleeve thing, right?
Exactly.
I don't, most people
You
don't
gonna
buy
put
those.
the sleeve thing in your door?
I have them on under any of my doors that connect to anything else. I have that there, and it also is good just in case your super, as we were talking about, didn't seal your apartment properly. And didn't put the weather strip at the bottom. It keeps all the air from flowing into your apartment.
Well, what other smells are you
So
referring
I
to? I'm
had,
curious.
I live in a building. We redid the full lobby. They redid every hallway, new carpeting in the hallways,
See, it
new
different,
light
it's different.
fixtures, new wallpaper. It looks like a nice hotel, to be honest with you.
So your
You-
building don't look the same as when I saw it.
Not.
It's totally different.
Was that bad what you said?
No, it was amazing. You know what
Nah.
I'm saying? They made it upgraded. Like,
No, I think you came after they did the upgrades. But I mean, basically, it looks like a hotel. You get up the elevator, it looks like a hotel. It's wallpaper, light sconces.
oh yeah,
and
yeah, it was like
carpet.
that.
It is what it is. But I recently had some company over, and I was told, she said, smells really funky in your hallway. I get one of these. And I was like, what do you mean smells funky? And she's like, I don't just really like the smell. Now, I was instantly like fucking heated and embarrassed as fuck.
Because now you come to my
Because
house
now
and
I'm
it
just like,
stinks.
holy fuck. My house smells. This is me. This is me. I smell. The house, you identify with your house, right?
Yes.
So because a visitor and be like, oh, I'm going to this person's house. It
So
smells
now when
like
she
garbage.
came, the story is I went to see Justin and his house stunk.
Luckily, she's like, thank God you got so many candles. But that's my point. It's like, especially with cultural food, you're talking about Aguin saltfish, which is like a Jamaican Caribbean type
But it's
dish.
strong.
I'm not too familiar with it, but
I'll bring you
but I
some.
know a lot of please. I know a lot of curry foods and stuff like that. Smell a lot. I know you eat Chinese food. I know with
I
the
don't
food
think-
that we cook, the Italian food we cooked the other day, that smell. Somebody cooks like a chicken soup. You
That
can
smells
smell
good,
that the whole
though.
fucking floor.
Yeah.
But you have to be aware of the neighbor shit. Do you complain about shit that smells bad?
No, because at the end of the day, you have to eat.
Because it's been like 3 weeks. I smelled this funky curry type smell in the hallways of my building.
We may have someone who would like to join in on this conversation real quick and
Who?
just add a little bit.
Who?
Yeah.
Is he here?
He's in the
No, he's
office.
actually trying to connect right now through live chat. So
Oh.
we
On
try
which?
and connect
Hold
them on here.
All right, dude. All right. So can you just introduce yourself real quick? Not that you haven't been on this podcast before.
My name is Yaya. I work at the DiGiulio Group as a real estate agent. I'm currently in a subway. They made me get off on my train so I can be on this video. Let's talk about curry smell.
He said, "Let's talk about curry smell."
Guys, it's very fitting, you know.
I didn't hit you up. You somehow you volunteered from my perspective. So
Well, I got the message, so I said I'll do it.
not for me.
Not from you.
All right. So somebody hit you up. Somebody hit you up as an expert,
I
as
don't
an
know what-
independent expert. You were hit up.
We'll do that playback tape later on that one.
But honestly, once it's on your clothes, man, then you're done. You can't go out that day.
You can't go out that day.
Down on them clothes.
But let me ask you a question. You've been over to my place. All right. Do you smell anything in my hallways? Do you smell anything in my apartment?
No, nothing that reminds me of home, so
But now we got some people on the floor. They cook with a lot of curry. They cook with a lot of spice, and it's getting a little smelly there. I'm trying. Just so you know, I'm trying to sell this condo on 119th Street, and it smells. It smells, man.
It's a game.
I'll tell you this right now. Every time my mom cooks, I tell her not to cook until I leave the house.
Why? Because you don't want that on your thing.
No, I don't want that on my clothes.
All right. So what do we do about it? Is it rude, or if you moved onto if your mom moved onto my floor and I said like, hey lady, it's kind of skanky around here. Is that reasonable for me to do, or is that just culturally insensitive?
That's rude.
No, it's not insensitive. But the thing is, a lot of people don't smell it.
I'd be like, lady, could you just cook spaghetti?
The best thing to do is just have you turn on your exhaust. That's it. Like,
I don't have exhaust in my building.
well, then you're fucked. Oh shit, I can't say that, right?
You can say fuck, yeah, it's okay.
All right, cool. Yeah, if you don't turn on that exhaust, you're pretty much fucked.
Yeah.
But he's talking about the exhaust if you're cooking. You have
Yeah,
to turn on the
yeah,
exhaust over the
exhaust.
pot.
I don't
'cause if
have
you
exhaust in my house.
There's no range?
Yeah.
No, there it is, but there's no exhaust.
Oh, wow.
Just a pilot light.
Oh. It's just a light up there.
Honestly, I would just be like, yeah, guys, can you like just keep it down a little bit? Like it's a lot. Open a window or something.
Open a window.
That's the right thing to do. You don't complain to the management because then you're a douche. Because at the end of the day, if we're neighbors, we should have at least enough of a neighbor understanding
You should
to
go to
say,
the neighbors
hey,
first.
exactly.
Right? You
Hey,
should go
bro,
to the neighbors
I can
first.
smell this under my door. Can you please like open a window or turn on your range? You know, it's kind of bothering me.
Let me
Even
say-
if you have to use the, it's bothering my allergies. Do something.
I
but-
happen to be allergic to turmeric.
Yeah, some people are allergic to turmeric. You find out it's actually a very big
All
thing
right,
in the
bro.
Caribbean. You're
Jump
being
on
allergic.
this subway. Jump on this subway. We'll catch up later, all right? But I appreciate your 2 cents.
See ya, yeah.
But yeah, that's the thing.
No, but for real, this is legit. It's fucking real.
Yeah, you don't. The thing with that is, and another example that I can use is, my wife, she's Spanish. She's Puerto Rican.
All right, hold on, Blue Michael. Tell me what's up, man. What's wrong with this conversation? And when you're ready. Tell me there's so many things wrong with this conversation. I'm curious because I feel like we're being pretty diplomatic about the situation.
Yeah. And you can't really, like, honestly, sensitivity, 2020, all of that.
I'm asking the person watching and joining chat because I really want to know their point of view. And
Yeah.
what he's saying is that, but you know, somebody's cooking in the hallway from you. It's rude or racially insensitive to ask them. Da-da. Which I agree. I actually think it is. Hey, yo, brother, what's up, man? Hold up, because we gotta get a camera on you. All right, we got a camera on you. Oh look, we just got a phone call. I agree with you, man. But do me a favor before we get started. Can you just introduce yourself?
I'm Blue Michael. I'm a photographer, makeup artist, celebrity, whatever. I live in New York and Dominican Republic.
Okay.
Now, oh, by the way, Spanish is not Puerto Rican. That's why.
Is he talking to you?
Your boy said that. That was weird.
No, I said my wife is Spanish, but better said Hispanic, and she's Puerto Rican, which is a type of
Right.
Hispanic.
Okay. So, about asking someone, I travel all over the
Technically, he's
world
not Spanish,
as
he's
a
Hispanic.
makeup artist, as a photographer, and just because I like to travel, asking another person, it's not about racially, it's not about racism. I believe it's about having manners. If you do not, I live in Washington Heights. I live on the west side of Broadway. You have a lot of people who are from all over the world.
Well, that's because we live in New York City. So I'm asking because my issue is that when yeah.
So asking someone in another apartment, another unit, to change the way they cook their food
Is
where
insane,
that's an
right?
issue, that's the way they cook. I know Italian people do. You're Italian.
Yeah, but I agree with you on this. I agree with you on this.
I don't think. I mean, there are people in the world that don't like the way Italian food smells.
Bro, of course.
Absolutely hate it.
It's fucking garlic and tomato.
To ask somebody to ask you to change what you put in your food. To me, I mean, look, open a fucking window yourself.
Yeah, right? Fair enough.
And don't be a baby. I mean, it's like there's a smell. I mean,
But that's my point though, is like so all of a sudden, and I agree with you because I think it's rude. I think it's rude, but I also don't think we need to bring race into it. I just think we need to bring the fact that you got smells in your apartment that are funky, right? So whether it's Indian, it's Dominican, it's Italian, it's Chinese. Like we're in New York City. So like you and I know better than anybody else. Like we're not in the fucking country. Like you know what it's like to live next to 5 different people that come from 5 different countries that cook 5 different types of food. But do you want your clothes to smell like curry? You want your clothes to smell like garlic? You want your clothes to smell like seafood?
I'll say this. It's the way I take care of my clothes that then the person needs to stop being a baby, figure it out. If you're complaining, if you sit there and you're like, wah, for me, I don't know what to do because my neighbors were cooking food and the smell comes in, then maybe you need to take care of what's going on in your apartment so
Cool.
you don't get those
Here's
smells.
my advice. Can I? I agree with you. I think it would be so insensitive to walk down the hallway, knock on somebody's door, and be like, "Your shit stinks," and they're like salivating. They're like, "We're so fucking hungry. We want to eat this." So here's my opinion, and you tell me what you think. Before you talk to anybody, you insulate your door. All right? You insulate your door, like number one thing. All right? So no smells are coming into your apartment no matter what.
Also get some air filters.
All right. Plus, I love candles, man. Like I'm a big fan of candles. So I like to have candles going in my apartment when I'm home. Also, I love fresh air. So like I always want to have a fucking window open. So I think if you got candles, you got a window open. It's none of your goddamn business to go knock on somebody else's door and be like, "Stop the curry, stop the seafood."
Also, Blue
Well,
Mike.
what you? I don't think it is either. It's just smell motivated. What's up, guys?
Blue Mike, it's nice to meet somebody else from Harlem, by the way, man. Up in Washington Heights.
Hold up.
Hi.
All right, brother. We'll catch
right.
up in a little bit. I like it. I like his point of view because I really think it's like the racial aspect is bullshit.
out of
It's
it.
just a smell, and
This
it's a foreign smell issue. So I
this
think
is
if
what
you
I'll
plug
say.
up your door and you can't smell that shit inside, because I can't smell it inside my apartment. Like we smoke cigars. Don't tell anybody that shit. Don't tell my manager. We smoke cigars inside my. They were little cigars.
Just I've been in your house.
But we smoked cigars inside the apartment the other day. I last week, at the end of last week, I came home and I was like, oh fuck, I can still smell cigars in my apartment. Fuck that. Like I wish I never did this shit. I feel bad for my neighbors. I feel bad for fucking everybody. I feel bad for anybody who kisses me.
This is what I'll say.
Yo.
Two things. My wife being Spanish means Hispanic. Puerto Rican is actually a type of Hispanic, and they do speak Spanish, and it's
I
Spanish
understand. I
culture.
understand. You just
Okay.
defending.
Now,
you know,
secondly, the issue was not to go down the hallway and tell someone to stop cooking their food.
right.
You understand?
No, but I think
The
that would be the
issue
worst. I brought that
That's
idea
horrible.
up as the fucking this end of the spectrum type of shit.
Yeah,
for that.
that's fucking horrible. Who the hell's
Yeah.
gonna go say,
Nobody
hey?
ever.
I would never go to my neighbor upstairs and say, hey, stop cooking your Jamaican
Well,
cuisine.
I'm so fucking
okay, I'm
embarrassed or
smelling
afraid
it.
to go to my fucking neighbors. As
That's
it is.
not what I would say.
I would not want to be
But
the
I
neighbor
would say,
that says
hey,
stop
bro,
doing.
I'm
I would not want to be my next door neighbor.
So,
I would-
As you know.
yeah.
So remember that Sunday you and I were both here?
Yeah.
And I ordered chicken wings, and I just felt bad. I'm like, oh, there's like 2-3 people around the office.
Let's order
Todd's been
something.
here for fucking 2.5, 3 hours. I'm gonna get some food. He's gonna smell it. It's gonna smell good. So what did I do? When I didn't even present the question.
He didn't
"Do you
even
want
ask.
food?"
He just said, hey, bro,
I
go get
just
some
I
wings from
over
house
ordered the
to-
chicken wings, and then I was like, the wings showed up. I was like, bro, we get the food. Let's.
You
let's
sent me
eat.
to get it. You said,
Yeah,
hey, bro,
yeah.
we're eating chicken wings.
Yeah,
That's
like,
exactly
it's
how that
happening,
went.
It's happening.
He said,
Because
bro, we're
there
eating
was
chicken
no
wings.
way
Go
I was
get
gonna.
them.
There was no way I was gonna order that and eat it without, and everybody else could smell the fragrance of the food. Because I just think that's the polite thing to do. You know. Is there anything else that you guys want to add when it comes to the etiquette of being a neighbor? Being you get two things. All right, cool. Being a good neighbor, you know, not staying up too late, making friends with your neighbor, whatever it happens to be. What do you got?
One, I would like to say thank you for having me again. Because I was on episode
I'm
4.
glad you got
And I
involved.
look like a
halfway
human
through.
on episode 12, so thank you. But also, I don't know if this goes for every neighborhood,
Mhm.
but I will say this looking in the camera. The rudest thing that you can do as a neighbor is not man up enough to go knock on someone's door, but you'll be willing to bang on the walls. Don't do that.
Or the ceiling.
Or the ceiling with a broom
the
or whatever.
ceiling, yeah.
If you have an
Yeah.
issue with your neighbor, the best way to have a peaceful coexistence with your neighbor is to have conversations like real people
No, like actually,
with
so the
your
thing
neighbors.
is, now we're just bear in mind that we live in the era of the internet, so nobody does this face to face.
No, there's this-
When
I'll
you guys
subliminally
when you guys
insult
know
you
in
on
an office,
Facebook.
I face shit every day. When you got an issue, you come to me. When she's got an issue, she comes to me. When you got an issue, you come to me. When you got I deal with the issues face to face because you don't want to face him. You don't want to face him. Everything comes to me. What do? Most of the time, I just step back and I say, just let you. I realize you guys are gonna come face to face at some point. But if you don't address your next door neighbor, if you go to me to talk about him, and you come to me to talk about him, we
that's
get an
being,
issue.
yeah, that's being,
And that's what a lot is going on right now. Let's wrap up. Happiness is live, happiness is not. I don't, live shit is cool because a lot of people know me. If you're live, you're live. You're paying attention. If you're not live, you're never gonna hear this shit. You're never gonna hear this shit. All right, bro. I appreciate you joining the podcast, Todd. Thank you for being part of this. Adam, I love that sweatshirt. All right, don't break a sweat. All right, guys, let's give a quick last round. Cheers. Todd,
All right.
I'm sorry, you are SOL.
Pour a little bit.
But
Just a
cheers.
tiny bit.
Pour a little,
Pour a little
yours in
tiny
there.
bit. You know,
All right,
like
guys,
it.
because you got to finish it anyway. So cheers.
Cheers,
All
everybody.
right, motherfuckers, enjoy.
Cheers to another good week.
Happy
Tuesday. Well, Thursday.
SipTalk.